Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, and that's right, of course, continuing on reviewing, the Marvel films, and that's right, you read the title of what I'm reviewing. Yep, Hulk. Yes, from 2003. I remember seeing this film before, years back. I remember, catching this on TV at one point, maybe, almost, the whole movie, I want to say. I remember, what was going on in the film, bits and pieces of it. And actually, as I record this, I watched it, tonight, and, yeah, honestly, I understand that, this movie was not well received, and it was not that good, unfortunately, but I honestly think it's okay, and honestly, I feel like this movie, it tried its best, the story tried its best, and the characters, you name it. Of course, yeah, the story, because, let me see. Yeah, scientist Bruce Banner is exposed to gamma radiation, which has its unique side effect during his acts of resonance. Bruce transforms into a infuriated green monster, and even throughout this film, because really struggling with this, and it's all because of his just psychopathic, father, Brian Banner. Well, Hulk slash Bruce Banner, played by Eric Bana, if I'm saying his last name right, yeah. He, best known, of course, for I remember him being the voice of Anchor in Finding Nemo, the one who talked like this, that kind of voice, and also best known for, in the first Star Trek film in the Kelvin timeline as the Romulan Nero. So, yep, him. And because this movie, yeah, Hulk, and he had this and Finding Nemo, so, and then, of course, yeah, Bruce's father, Brian, played by, legendary actor Nick Nolte. Honestly, I thought that Nick Nolte was pretty good in this. And of course, same thing with Eric Bana. I thought both of them were pretty good. And also because, even at one point, because, Bruce, earlier in the film, does not remember, anything that happened, when he was a little boy and so on. And we see, his mother, Rebecca Banner, played by Cara Buono, if I'm saying her last name right, she would go on and best known for, being in Stranger Things. So, there was, young Brian Banner, played by Paul Kersey. I'm not sure if I've seen him in anything else. Then, of course, there's also Betty Ross, played by lovely, talented actress Jennifer Connelly. I thought, honestly, she was an okay and pretty good Betty Ross. And also, General Ross, played by legendary actor Sam Neill. Yes, Sam Neill. I had to do my impression of Sam Neill. I thought he was an okay General Ross. You know what? Because looking at him and the late William Hurt, because their looks for General Ross, they practically kind of nailed the looks. Because obviously, yeah, General Ross, he has like white slick hair and such, something like that, grayish hair or whatever, and they've got the mustache. So yeah, so Sam Elliott, I thought that he was a pretty good choice for General Ross, in my opinion, honestly. And also, earlier in the film, literally earlier in the film, because I almost forgot about this, it was earlier in the film, cameos by Stan Lee, not only him, but Lou Fernango. I'm sorry if I'm saying his last name wrong, but he's best known, of course, being the original Hulk, in the 70s Hulk show as the body of Hulk. Yep, so he was a security guard. They, both Stan Lee and Lou, they were both security guards. They were talking and walking as they were exiting out of the building, and right as Bruce Banner shows up, Eric Bana. And yeah, that was a pretty clever cameo there. I think one of the few good things that came from this was Stanley and Lou's cameos. And also, oh, I almost lost him. Yeah, Glenn Talbot. Yeah, I think I said that right. played by Josh Lucas. Yeah, Glenn was basically the jerk in this, and he was getting to Banner and getting him, like, to transform into the Hulk, yeah. Here's another thing. The Hulk, like, I don't know, like, I feel like, yeah, because at times, like, he's very big almost, and I mean, he doesn't have to be, he's not supposed to be that big, I guess, or something happens and it causes him to grow a little bit. Also, a little bit earlier in the film, Brian actually had 3 dogs that were under his control, and they were like, as General Ross described them, like mutant dogs. That's basically what they were. Because even say at one point, Banner does come to Betty, which he's still the Hawk. He reveals himself as the Hawk to Betty, and of course the mutant dogs come in. They attack Hawk. He defeats them. Even when, say, General Ross, who's just not so sure about Bruce, and he's basically got him locked up, military base, whatever. And even, say, Bruce and Betty, they revisit, like, where they used to grow up at. And basically that place is, like, totally deserted. Desert town, basically. That's what it's become. Especially when, like, at one point Bruce escaped, Hulk, that is, there were some moments where he was, like, jumping and flying into the air and getting to different places. Like, how the frick is that possible? Like, Hulk really couldn't do that, I guess. Heck, even the MCU's Hulk hasn't really done that. So, yeah, he could really jump high and so on, but seriously, I don't know. And I do recall, because when they make their way, like when Bruce Bruce Banner / Hawk make their way to San Diego, San Francisco, San Francisco, that I remember that one scene where, Betty is the only one that can calm, Hulk down and, like, turn back into Bruce Banner as she's walking down the steps, and Hulk is shrinking and turns back to Bruce. I remember that part. And even when, say, the conversation between Brian and, from, like, father and son, like, man, the father and son relationship of this, very interesting. And, because I guess Brian maybe wasn't a bad man earlier in the film, like, at the start, but I guess what drove him crazy is when, General Ross just basically shut him down, like what he was doing and so on. And if only Brian could have cured Bruce. And of course, like, Brian, gains this ability of, like, this very interesting, like, superpower he has, transforming into anything, I guess. And at one point he bites into, like, electrical cords, he becomes electric, and then, like, he punches Bruce and, like, go flying into the air, even, like, some cloud shots. And of course, Brian is defeated after, like, a nuclear bomb or whatever hits them. Here's something else. What's the word for this? I can't remember, but sometimes the movie would, like, kind of, like, have this fade transition, or sometimes, like, square shots, whatever, like a line would be cut, like a character would be here and here. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's a lot in this, and God, you could definitely have this movie, like, definitely has those, like, early 2000 vibes, and of how the movie was done, you name it. Also, the music and score, composed by Danny Elfman. It was fine. Like, Danny Elfman. This is Danny Elfman we're talking about, and he's scored superhero movies before, from, say, Batman, Spider-Man, and Hawk and Doctor Strange too. So, yeah. And he even did, he was one of the composers for Avengers Age of Ultron. I almost forgot. Yeah. Of course, the ending to it, because the epilogue, because it's 1 year later, and, one last bit of dialogue we get from, Betty and her father, General Ross. They're on the phone, and if, the possibility of Bruce still out there and alive. And, of course, we do see Bruce, he's, like, still, being a doctor and so on, and even says to these, like poachers or terrorists, whatever they are, like, in the language, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And yeah, and even the camera pulls out and into the sky and you hear hawks roar. Yeah, what a way to end on that. So, Hulk from 2003, it's okay. I think it's okay. Again, as I said earlier, I'm sure that the movie tried its best, definitely. And oh boy, how do I rate this? Good question. Well, because I say that I think it's okay and I actually do like this, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 stars. That's okay, And what about you guys? Have you ever seen The Incredible Hulk? Well, it's not titled The Incredible Hulk, but just Hulk. Leave comments as always, and give this review a like as always too. And you let me know what you thought of my review. Anyways, so with that being said, again, 7 out of 10 stars for Hulk. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Hulk. More reviews coming your way. They're gonna be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And stay tuned later this week when we'll be going back straight to the MCU, where this time, to quote on the next MCU film I'm going to review, in the words of Steve Rogers, on your left. You probably know which one it is that I'm going to be reviewing. Stay tuned for that. Take care, and peace out.